we have a good one this morning. Before I completely get into Rachel Richardson, Lesa Pamplin, and BYU, before I pat myself on the back for once again being right about something, for once again calling out the media on their blatant lack of investigative journalism, before we get into all that, I want to explain to you guys what happened last night. I received several emails from you guys concerned about what was happening with last night's video and what was going on with the channel. Now, last night's video, it made it through the YouTube check system. It was cleared to upload. No problems, no monetization problems, no content problems, no nothing. About 30 minutes after it was uploaded, I got an email from YouTube. They were explaining why they had to take the video down. Apparently, I violated their medical misinformation policy. I went back, I checked the transcripts of the video, I watched the video. I know exactly what was said that violated the policy. It was my fault. It was my fault. I should have expounded on the point I was making. I should have been more clear about what I said, and I would have been fine. Now, just to be clear, other people who believe the opposite of what I believe about the Fauci and all of that, they have also had their videos taken down for the same reason. So I don't think this was a case of bias in any way. It's just YouTube covering their own ass. Now, I was given a warning. I was not given a strike. There are still no strikes on the channel. It was the first time in 3 years that I had violated community guidelines. I spent about 3 hours last night researching what effect this would have on the channel. Will my views decrease? Will YouTube stop promoting my content? Will the growth of the channel come to an immediate halt, whether that's permanently or just temporarily? I'll be honest with you. I was a little bit stressed out about it. I don't get stressed about much, but something like this, completely out of my control, something that impacts my livelihood, I got stressed about it. I spent 3 hours last night investigating. I could not find any evidence that this warning will have any negative impact on the channel. From what I read, the vast majority of channels receive a warning at some point throughout their YouTube career. 95% of us who receive a warning never receive a strike. We will see over the coming days and weeks whether impressions and view counts dramatically decrease. Perhaps they will in the short term. I don't know. If that does happen, though, we will push through it. Nothing is going to change. We will get through this. While I was stressing last night, someone sent me an article from the BYU student newspaper. Last weekend, I think it was Sunday, I told you guys about the incident at BYU. Rachel Richardson, she's a volleyball player at Duke, only African-American player on the roster. They played at BYU last Friday night. Saturday afternoon, her godmother, Lesa Pamplin, who just so happens to be an aspiring politician, she took to Twitter and claimed that her goddaughter, Rachel Richardson, was the victim of racism. She claimed a BYU fan sitting in the student section was screaming racial slurs at her goddaughter throughout the game. Now, I'm not going to recount the entire story again. If you want full details of what happened, you can check out the video from Sunday. When we talked about this the first time, I told you guys that I was not going to call this mythical racism. Even though I thought that could be the case, I'm just not someone who likes to label something without all the facts. Unlike the shitfucks in the mainstream media, I don't take people at their word. I like to confirm something is true before giving my opinion on it. I explained to you guys on Sunday that I was having a hard time biting into this shit sandwich. Something just didn't seem right about this story. There were over 5,500 people in attendance, and not one person could corroborate this story? Not one person captured it on video? We are living in an era where nothing goes unnoticed. 2 dogs can't get down with the butt bongo on the side of the road without someone pulling out their phone and filming it. Poor Roscoe and Oscar. They used to be able to pound the bongo in privacy. Now sure, there were passing motorists, but they didn't have to worry about their proclivities being uploaded to Woof Woof, the site dedicated to shitfucks who were into that sort of thing. Rachel Richardson, her political godmother looking to exploit her, and her father, they expect me to believe that they were the only people that heard this shit? They were the only ones? I'm supposed to take you at your word? I can understand why they would think that. I mean, the mainstream media ate their shit sandwich. Matter of fact, the media asked for seconds. Can we please get some extra mayo on the next shit sandwich? Also, sprinkle in a little bit of mythical misogyny. It makes the mythical racism taste sweeter. The New York Times, the Salt Lake Tribune, NPR, along with numerous woke media outlets, they all ran with the story. They all ate the shit sandwich. No proof was needed. Hell, they didn't even ask for proof. Did someone say mythical racism? Run the story. Crucify the evil white man. I'll bring the nails, you carry the cross. Turns out, none of this ever happened. Casey, you are one smart motherfucker. How do you do it? How did you know this incident could be another case of mythical racism? When you spend every day for years analyzing the propaganda throughout the mainstream media, you learn to pick up on what's real and what's fake. I thought this was mythical racism Sunday. I just didn't have any proof. The credit for busting through the bullshit, all the credit goes to the BYU Cougar Chronicle, the fucking student newspaper at BYU. Yes, college kids with zero experience are doing a better job than veteran reporters and the mainstream media. The students at BYU, they did something the media hadn't done in years: investigative journalism. They interviewed someone working inside the BYU athletic department. The person wished to remain anonymous. Now, you guys know how I feel about anonymous sources, but this is one of the rare cases where I understand the need for anonymity. The source, they want to do the right thing, but they don't want to lose their job. I can empathize with that. The source claimed that Rachel Richardson complained about hearing a racial slur once, but she refused to point anyone out. After hearing the complaint, BYU officials, they provided a police escort to stand by the Duke bench. That was the only complaint. According to this source, nothing else was said until after the match. Now, if I had to guess, nothing else was said until Lesa Pamplin blasted this mythical racism on Twitter. The BYU student newspaper, they were not satisfied with one source. No. They go by the old adage, trust but verify. This mentality is the complete opposite of the mentality throughout the mainstream media, which is all white people are evil and guilty. The student newspaper, they interviewed people who were actually at the game. Remember on Sunday when I told you guys that the father of Rachel Richardson was making these claims? You remember that? Guess who wasn't at the game on Sunday? Her father. Guess who else wasn't at the game? Lesa Pamplin. The mainstream media blasted a story of mythical racism based off the accounts of two people who weren't fucking there. And they wonder why they have no credibility. The BYU student newspaper, they interviewed numerous people who attended the game. Guess how many corroborated Rachel Richardson's story? Just take a wild guess. 0. None. Lesa Pamplin, the aspiring shitfuck that she is, she has been boasting all week on Twitter about her relevance. Look at how important I am. I tweeted out a story of mythical racism and the national media picked up the story. I'm so important. Bow to me, peasant, and lick my bunions. The BYU Chronicle, they did some digging. They looked into the past of Lesa Pamplin. And were the results not surprising? You know how people say when someone is arrested for a crime, it's not the first time it's happened, just the first time they got caught? With a DUI, for example, I believe the average person drives under the influence 100 times before they get caught. It is the same with mythical racism. When someone completely fabricates a story, just makes shit up out of thin air, when someone pushes a claim of mythical racism, it's likely not the first time it's happened, just the first time they got caught. Check out the history involving Lesa Pamplin. Now, I apologize if the images are blurry. That's how they were uploaded by the BYU student newspaper. But as you can see, this woman has a severe problem with white people. Look at how she spells white people. Why pipo? Why pipo? This woman's running for political office and she types like a fucking teenager. Now, ultimately, I don't blame Rachel Richardson for this incident. I don't blame her father. I don't even blame Lesa Pamplin. This type of behavior, just making up stories, it's what I've come to expect. When you have a victim mentality, you are always looking for ways to victimize yourself. You're looking for ways to use your victim status for your own personal gain. Rachel Richardson is young. She was obviously raised in a victim household. Her godmother is driving the victim van, her father riding shotgun. Rachel Richardson is behaving like she was raised to behave. I don't blame them. I blame BYU. The administration at BYU is filled with cowards. They have no balls. It is being reported this guy that Rachel Richardson and her family of fucks accused of mythical racism, the guy is suffering from a mental disorder. Instead of BYU investigating the situation like their students did, instead of conducting an investigation, BYU took the word of a victim raised through childhood. They took a bite into the shit sandwich. They succumbed to pressure from the mainstream media. Instead of doing what was right, BYU assumed the position and asked for the cucumber to be fully inserted. All they had to do was talk with people at the game. This could have been resolved in 48 hours. BYU obviously didn't do that. You want to know why? They were afraid of being labeled racist. They were afraid to call out Lesa Pamplin on her bullshit. All they had to do was call her. Miss Pamplin, can you hop on your broom and come meet with us? Can you provide proof of these accusations? I don't have any proof. Case fucking closed. I defended BYU the other day for taking a stand against the alphabeters, but they were afraid to take a stand here because the supposed victim belongs to what the mainstream media calls a marginalized group. Who was really marginalized here? Someone please explain to me how Rachel Richardson was marginalized. If she was, it was by her own godmother because she was fucking used. She was used by her godmother to enhance her own political ambitions. Lesa Pamplin, she wanted name recognition. She wanted her name in the mainstream. The real victim here, is the guy accused of mythical racism. Now, of course, the media can't label him a victim. He can't be considered a victim, even though he is in a marginalized group. He just wasn't in the right marginalized group. But let me know what you think. Lesa Pamplin uses her goddaughter to enhance her political campaign and gets busted making false accusations of mythical racism. Who do you blame here? Do you blame BYU, Rachel Richardson, Lesa Pamplin, or do you blame all of them? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.